This is section 1.1. We're going to be doing a little introduction today and a review of order of operations. We have all done this before. This will just be a little bit review that'll take us into chapter 1 and the nuts and bolts of it, which is going to be equation solving. With order of operation, you guys have always followed this order right here. And you have seen this as a mnemonic. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Mnemonic is just simply something that helps us remember something, a combination of letters. I am not going to refer to it as that. I am just going to simply refer to it as PEMDAS. And the P stands for parentheses. The E is for my exponents. M is for multiplication. D is for division. And then we have addition and subtraction. A few little caveats to go with this we need to remember. Remember, between multiplication and division, we are going to write or. And before addition and subtraction, I am going to write the word or in quotation marks as well, because if we remember back, we got to remember multiplication does come before division in the mnemonic, but we have to attack this as we read it left to right when we're presented a problem. So multiplication or division, addition or subtraction, and I'm going to make the note over here, whichever comes first when reading left to right. Best way to kind of review this is we are going to start by just looking at some examples, just to go through them. I will always give you EX, letting you know that this is an example of what the work is to come. And I have 27 divided by 3 to the second power, or 3 squared, multiplied by 2, and then we are going to subtract 3. Whenever we are presented with a problem like this, we simply start at the left and work left to right, following my order of operations. And I'm going to ask myself the same questions every time. Do I see any parentheses? I do not. Do I see any exponents? I do. Right there is an exponent. That is what I need to do first. So I'm just going to bring this 27 down. I'm going to go step by step. 27 divided by 3 to the second power. Now remember, that means 3 times itself. Remember, our exponent tells us how many times we multiply the base times itself. 3 times 3 gives me 9. And I'm still left with multiplied by 2, subtract 3. And then I just simply start over again. I am going to look left to right, no parentheses, no more exponents. Now I have to look at multiplication or division, whichever comes first, as I read it left to right. Well, I can see there's multiplication and division here. Now remember, on my PEMDAS, tells me multiplication comes first, but I'm not going to multiply this 9 by this 2 first. I am going to divide 27 by 9 first, because it is multiplication or division, whichever comes first as I read it left to right. So my first step, next step, is going to be 27 divided by 9. 9 goes into 27 3 times. I still have times 2, subtract 3, start left to right again. Multiplication comes before subtraction. 3 times 2 gives me 6, subtract 3, and that leaves me with 3, and I will box that in. Your calculator, whether you have a TI-30 or the Graphene TI-84, your calculator will perform order of operations if you put it in correctly. This sort of work is what I want to see. If you put this into your calculator and get the right answer of 3, it just tells me you know how to use your calculator. If you show me these steps here, that's showing me you know how to do order of operations, and yes, you can use your calculator along the way. But for today, and when you're working on your assignment in here, I want to see your steps breaking down. Next example. 15 plus 6 squared, subtract 4. Start with order of operations again. No parentheses, but I do see exponents. Remember, 6 squared is 6 times 6. It's not 6 times 2, it is 6 times 6. 15 plus 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract 4. I am just going to tackle this left to right, do addition or subtraction, whichever comes first. It really is not going to matter in this case. 15 plus 36 will give me 51. Whoops, not 15. 51. Subtract 4. 4 less than 51 gives me an answer of 47. A couple more examples here. Two times 3 to the second power, not subtract, added 4. Give you a second. See how quickly you can do that out. No parentheses. I'm going to tackle the exponents. 3 to the second power, or 3 times 3, leaves me with 9 plus 4. Multiplication comes before addition. 2 times 9, or double 9, leaves me with 18. Plus 4 is equal to 22, and I will box that in. Seven times the quantity, 13, subtract 2 to the third power, or cubed, and I'm going to close my parenthesis. Now there's a little bit more going on in this one, but I still treat it the same way. I look at my order of operations at the top of the page, I look at the parentheses. Once I see these parentheses, I'm going to work inside out to my parentheses. I definitely want to work in here. Once I look inside here, I start back over. Sometimes we'll have parentheses within parentheses. In this case, we don't, but I see inside the parentheses I have an exponent, so I am going to do that first. 7 times 13, subtract 2 to the third power. And remember, that is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times another 2 gives me 8. That takes care of what was inside my parentheses. I start my order of operations over again, looking inside parentheses because that's what's first. 13 subtract 8 gives me 5. And now I have 7 times 5. Remember, no mathematical symbol between it. We assume that is going to be multiplication. 7 times 5 gives me an answer of 35. So there's a little introduction to order of operations. There will be a worksheet with order of operation problems in there. That is what we are going to be working on. There will be attached answers. You can check those and specific instructions to follow.